Welcome to the CFG Gamecast episode number 177, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers who like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every Sundays and release on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love, give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any podcast services, or go to our main website, confreaksgeeks.com. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, David Screen, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts and a special guest. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Oh, I missed last week, but so did you, so I guess I didn't.
I did.
What did I play this week? I played a lot of Demonologist. I played a lot of Outlast Trials. You know how, speaking of Twitch, I don't know how I get away with playing that, because there is definitely a giant pee-pee man who, like, runs at you with his junk out, and they just... okay, we're just gonna ignore it, I guess. Okay. But yeah, I played a lot of Outlast Trials. I played Have a Nice Death Day, but off stream. And I've kind of just spent the entirety of the weekend napping and enjoying myself. Also, got to babysit Smitty's littles this week, which was fun. And I'm teaching them bad things.
Bad examples.
We had a whole rehearsal for it and everything. She had a little stick, and I was like, all right. When Dad walks in the door, you're going to run, go, ah, and then poke him with it. She didn't scream at him, but she did run up to him and then smack him with it. Job well done. I did a great job. We had a whole 30-minute rehearsal for it and everything. I'm like, not too hard.
She did run at me and yell the second time, by the way.
Yeah.
She did. And then she actually poked me instead of slapping me with it. So technically it was successful.
Thank you.
Second time around.
Yeah. Look, I'm creating anarchists. If you want me to babysit, this is what happens. Lincoln got blamed for it at first. I was like, no. That was all me, boy. That was all me.
You need to settle it down.
I was like, wait, what? Lincoln didn't do anything. It was me. Lincoln's just sitting here. She was like, okay.
I was proud of Lincoln. She did not rat out Auntie Lex.
She didn't. She even whispered, she goes, I wasn't going to tell on you. I was like, girl, I'm not going to let you take the fall for me. It's fine. She was like, I still wouldn't have told on you. I'm like, nah, it's fine.
Yes. Hey, Lex.
Yeah.
Do you know if you want to learn Russian, you could go to this person's stream to go watch it, to listen to it?
I can?
Yeah, it's the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. For some reason, Smitty, like, I don't know what it is. You know, I always kid that Smitty's thing is Pandora's box. Yes, and it's just like,
not a joke.
Randomly just starts speaking Russian. Just like,
what
the frick is going on? Yeah, it's like the other day.
Oh, snap. I missed this.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently my Kick account has a Russian TTS enabled for some reason, and like I'm sitting here hearing it, and I'm like, where the hell is that coming from?
Yes.
What is going on, man? Like that was.
You hear the music in the background, the theme song of Russia. That bum 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 bum.
Like, oh, that's not the scene. My bad, y'all. You guys weren't supposed to see that. You guys weren't supposed to see that. No, it was a super busy and you know, for the most part productive week for me. Got a lot done work wise and like gaming wise. I started up Tears of the Kingdom finally, so I'm just diving into that. But like I said, I'm gonna keep that. Like I'm gonna take my time with that game. I'm in no kind of rush to go through it. I just want to explore and do different things. It's like the mechanics are so cool. So I'm enjoying that. I ended up picking up Street Fighter 6 as well. I've primarily just been going through the campaign and whatnot. So I'm really enjoying having my avatar up in there, because I do feel that it would be me in the world of Street Fighter. So, you know, I got to show you guys the picture. It's fantastic. But yeah, other than that though, just, you know, a little Destiny 2, got some raiding in with the clan, with the squad, as well. So that was a lot of fun. We did some red border, farming. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's been a pretty, productive week for me overall. So, and lots happening gaming news wise as well. So
it's nonstop. But
yeah.
Smitty's character in Street Fighter 6 is a pacifist. That's how I can see how he doesn't raise a fist. He's like we can see other ways.
Yeah, I have employed the Zenyatta technique.
Yeah, that's just what it is. Yeah, but that's cool.
What about you, man? How was your week, brother? What did you get into?
Oh man, dude! So I've been playing Star Wars. Originally I was not going to platinum it, but then I decided, you know what? I'm really close. I might platinum it. But then I found out that there's a glitch in the game that I can't pass it. I can't platinum it.
No way.
Yeah, because there's a cage. There's a cage glitch that you know Cage.
Yep.
You know Smitty? Yeah.
Cage?
The bounty hunter. Bounty hunter that gives you the thing. Yeah, apparently she doesn't there's a glitch where she doesn't give you the mission. So she tells you about the mission, but it says undiscovered inside your menu bar. So you can't click on the on the marks at all, until it unlocks. So because of that, I can't finish it. And I was
you can't get any of the bounty hunters?
No, I can't get the bounty hunters. No.
Oh, I did not have that glitch. I'm on PlayStation though. That's why I got it on PlayStation.
When I talked about it.
Oh, this happened on PlayStation. This happened on my PlayStation.
This happened on PlayStation? Oh, yeah. No, I have the bounties.
I talked about it.
Oh, I do remember you talking about this. Did that happen to you too, Sean? Because that's what.
Yeah.
Oh, it did? Okay. Wow. Yeah, and here's the messed up part. Here's the messed up part. They have been quiet for 3 weeks on this. They haven't fixed it, and it's still available. So yeah, so I'm like, oh my god. So it really irritates me. It really irritates. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish it this week because Final Fantasy 16 comes out next week. Just focus on it. But then I was going to be doing a lot of different things. I was going to be doing a special stream with DC Dual Force creator program. And I was going to go to a convention yesterday, but unfortunately I had a flare up on diverticulitis, so I could not do anything. I was in immense pain for the past 2 days. So, so I've been kind of keeping it easy. And then also shout out to you, Smitty, on helping me out on that one, because that's that really, really irritates me. Was very frustrating. So
it is very.
Welcome to the tummy troubles stream.
Yeah, it was bad. Well, it's you don't want to it's funny because when Smitty was describing it, because I remember a long time ago, Smitty, you said that you had it, and I never had it, and I was like, this sounds painful. And then I'm like, I didn't believe. It's not that I didn't believe you. It's that it's that I couldn't relate because I couldn't relate to the pain that you're experiencing.
You don't know.
It's such a weird pain and in a weird place.
It's like you're sitting on a needle and it's just constantly aggravating, just all around, just messing around all the time. It's just sharp pain all the time. So I was just like, oh my god. So yeah, finally got that cleared up, and so now we're able to I'm taking it easy still, but we'll see how it goes. But also we have a special guest today. We got One Up Lawyer here, a legitimate streamer. Are you you play Destiny, right?
Yeah, I play Destiny.
Sorry.
He said legitimate.
If you don't play
streamer.
Destiny, you're not a legitimate streamer.
Definitely
legitimate
streamer.
But a streamer by day, but also a lawyer, a full-time lawyer as well, which is
he's a lawyer by day.
Lawyer by day, yes. I'm sorry, I'm just totally messing this up. I'm boofing it. Yeah, so he's gonna be so he's gonna be able to help us talk about some of the cool stuff that we're about to talk about here in a minute. How are you doing? One Up Lawyer?
Doing good. Same as Smitty, just a really productive week. Playing basketball again, so that's been fun. Nice. Although I'm old, so all my joints hurt. And saw Spider-Verse, so that was good. That was a good time. Gaming wise, been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm deep in that game right now.
Nice.
Really? All in?
Oh yeah. All in. I've unlocked most of the outfits. I've explored all of the map, and I'm trying to find what few shrines there are left, but I've done everything in that.
How many shrines are there?
A lot.
There's a lot. Wow. Yeah.
So it's funny you guys are talking about it. So Dust, I was watching TV. Dust brought the Nintendo Switch into the room, and he was playing Tears of the Kingdom, and he kept dropping it on his face. So I have this like little device that like holds my phone for making TikTok content, and so I screwed it onto his nightstand and like kind of maneuvered it because it's like a bendable metal, and put it in front of him, and so he can sit there and play with it.
That is hilarious.
I get why though, because if I could do it all day, I would.
Yep.
130 shrines. Holy crap!
Yes,
that's a lot.
Because there's like above shrines and below shrines, and there's the air. It's
there's a lot. There's just a lot. Like it's huge. Like seriously, I remember us talking about it. I was like, man, what do you do? How do you one up Breath of the Wild? And I was like, they've got to have introduce new mechanics, this and that. Like they have given us a playground to play in the Zelda universe is what they've done, and it is incredible.
The building in it is wild. Like you can build anything. I've seen people build like laser trains and just mow down enemies. It's wild.
Man, okay, well that's crazy, but that's awesome, man. But guys, I know we don't want to be talking about Zelda. I know everyone's going to be going through that whole process. So let's go to the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic. Normally, each of us chooses a topic of discussion through the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to help. We don't want to talk about amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick, on Facebook, on so many different platforms to be a part of the conversation. So if there's something you want to type or chime in about, by all means, type it inside the chat. We would love to talk to you about it. So let's get this party started. So you know what? We'll give you the table, Sean, since you're more familiar with all of this. So what are you bringing up here?
Yes. So first, my disclaimer: I'm not giving any legal advice. All right, this is all just for education purposes, and you should speak to an attorney before you do anything with it. But this past week, I believe it was June 6th, to be honest, Twitch out of the blue decided that they were going to both update their terms of service with their partners and affiliates, as well as put out a new branded content guideline, which was not received very well by the community. Especially I think the one that got the most press was the branded content. I think it was Zach Busey put it out on Twitch, and their original information they gave was going to be your on-stream logos were limited to 3% of the screen size. You had burned-in video ads were not allowed, burned-in display ads were not allowed, and burned-in audio ads were not allowed. And they had a whole list of things that they put in. There was a guideline on the website that had indicated that the changes would go into effect on July 1st, 2023. And this was kind of, like I said, out of the blue. And it was interesting because it affected everyone, both partners and affiliates, which normally they kind of separate the two. Although I guess that line has kind of been graying over the last few years. But the thing that didn't get a lot of press was that they changed the monetized streamer agreement in some pretty expansive ways, and it's a contract that you don't really get to negotiate. And how they put it into play was that the agreement, if you use Twitch, you've agreed to this agreement. And that's use it at all, whether you're a viewer, whether you're a streamer, however you're using it. If you've used it, you're agreeing. And again, it governed both affiliates and partners, which is a new thing. I've never really seen that from Twitch. Normally, partners get to negotiate their own agreements. They're a lot more customized, especially because they do have more monetization. So it was an interesting move. There are 3 clauses in particular that I think we should talk about, just because I think they affect everybody. And as of today, because I copy and pasted, I put it on Twitter too, these are still in there. I know Twitch originally said that they were going to pull everything after the backlash, but the agreement is still at least listed on Twitch's website. So section 1.2 says if you fail to comply without permission from Twitch, to the agreement, they reserve the right to do any or all of the following, which is disable ad serving to your Twitch channel to the extent permitted by applicable law, withhold program fees otherwise payable to you, terminate your agreement, and disable your Twitch channel. Why that is important is Section 2.1 says that you further agree to provide a consistent amount of live content, program quality live content, regularly interact with and engage viewers of your Twitch channel, and respond to live viewers of your Twitch channel via Twitch chat. And 13.7, of course, is that this agreement is complete and exclusive. And the important part, it's superseding, canceling, and replacing all prior or contemporaneous agreements, communications, and understandings, both oral and written, regarding that subject matter. So essentially, 2.1 is interesting just because it does say you have to have consistent content, but does not say what consistent means. Quality content, but does not say what quality means. And also regularly interact with your viewers and Twitch channel and Twitch chat. Again, doesn't really say what regularly means.
This doesn't make any sense to me in general, though, because it's saying that like that would mean that someone would be actively looking at your initial content towards your towards your page if you're an affiliate or if you're a partner. Like, how are they going to enforce something like that initially because of how vague that is? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and well, what it does is it leaves it wide open for them, right? So what does consistent content mean? Does that mean you need to be posting daily? Does that mean you need to be posting weekly? Because if they get to just decide, it's an easy way for them to start removing people from the affiliate and the partner programs. They'll say, oh, you didn't post in the last 2 weeks. We find that to be not consistent. We're going to remove your channel, or we're going to remove you from the program. And what's crazy for partners is, that it does say that this agreement supersedes and cancels and replaces all prior contemporaneous agreements, which means that partner agreement you signed is essentially null and void, because as long as you've used Twitch, you're agreeing to this new agreement. And again, this has not been removed yet. So as of the recording of this podcast, this is still technically active, and everyone who's used Twitch would have agreed to this. Essentially, I'd argue now because it's already there, but at a minimum, July 1st, unless they change it before then.
So does that mean that the TOS is going to be like they're going to rewrite the TOS to agree on these for affiliates to approve on this, or is
so? The way that they do it, because I got an email from them, and most of the affiliates have,
we all
did.
Says
we're writing you to let you know that we're updating the terms of the Twitch affiliate agreement for all Twitch affiliates. Now, and why people were even more upset about that is this does make it seem like it's just for affiliates, but then the agreement says that it's for Twitch affiliate or Twitch partner as applicable. But yeah, so once they sent that and you use Twitch, you've agreed to this agreement, because we call it an adhesion agreement. Right. So there's no real negotiation, and you're using the item is what causes you to agree to it. So it's like when you open your computer and you have those agreements at the beginning, everyone agrees to them. But, you can't use the platform without agreeing to this. And they've technically already updated this.
Golly, that's.
So so let me ask, because like something like this, I would feel that it would essentially be. They'd have to do an addendum, right? And that's something then that we would, as affiliates, have to agree to, or re-sign, or they could just change it and be like, you're automatically opted in. That's contract. Insane.
Yeah, because in your first contract, you gave, by signing on, we agreed that they can update the agreement as they need to, and so they just update it.
I did not read that in the fine print. That is insane to me. That seems.
Well, and here's my Lex. Question. So, and I talked to Smitty about this because we were texting back and forth. So, we are in and of ourselves are a brand, right? And so, with the whole monetization thing that they brought up, my mods were like, "Well, all your logos are bigger than 3%. We're screwed." Because if they're talking about monetization just by purely streaming, we have to then abide by those rules, even though they have now come back and said, oh, we're not going to do that anymore. But that still would have taken place regardless if we were doing sponsored streams, correct? Or am I wrong on that?
So, yeah, I mean, how it works for the branded stuff, at the end of the day, the branded content has to be something that is sponsored the way that they've written it, right? So it is something that you're promoting for money, right? So your own brands or posting another, someone in your community's stream or doing shout outs, that should all be fine. Where it'll get tricky though is if and I think it would go against terms of service, to be honest, but if someone was paying you to boost their channel, then now it's sponsored, and so now shout out. Okay, that's an issue now if you're doing that shout out.
Okay. You know what's actually it's like it just feels that like overall it just feels that if you're making a move like this, especially aggressive moves like this, especially this came out of nowhere, it feels that Twitch is just trying to eliminate a competition completely for TOS for like so the streamer can't go on their own and get a sponsored stream themselves unless they go through Twitch themselves to do it, and then they have their own different way, which is kind of shady because it was actually interesting because like I don't know who it was that said this, but but the streamer says that Twitch, if you're doing something like this, Twitch doesn't see you as a partner or as an affiliate, they see you as competition. And then with this said competition to be doing these kind of moves is insane. Like what caused it? The real question is like I just want to know what caused it for them to be like deciding to be this aggressive for sponsored streaming.
Sorry. So first, I just want to. Zukara said in the chat, just jumping ahead a little bit, but Zukara was asking about the portion about not streaming on other platforms, if that is still intact. And my understanding is that is in the TOS now, so that now would extend to non-affiliates along with affiliates and partners. Correct. Here's the thing about that though, is they've already admitted that they cannot. You can't moderate that. How do you? They don't have enough people to be able to moderate that.
Tell us no.
So that's kind of the stance that I've taken on that. Is like I'm going to continue doing what I'm going to do, and then what if it's a strike or I get banned or whatever? Okay, oops, I didn't know. My bad.
I wonder if they're gonna. It might have to be like where they end up having the community rat you out in a sense, because if they can't monitor it, how are they going to know unless somebody comes in and reports you, you know?
Right. I feel like that would definitely encourage some toxicity.
Absolutely.
I could just not like this person. I'm going to report them on. Yeah, exactly. In terms of this direct situation, this is my understanding of it. I don't know that Twitch necessarily... I think I see what Twitch is trying to do. They just did it in a dumb way. Essentially, is what I'm understanding is this basically would cut out the middleman of advertising sales. They're trying to basically say that if you're selling ads, you have to go directly to us, through us. No ad agencies, none of that stuff. So this is actually targeted at ad agencies and third-party companies. It's supposed to be targeted at them. However, it obviously directly affects us as creators as well. So this is dumb because then they can name any rate based off of, you know what I mean? Well, here's the CPM it's going to be, or the click-through rate is going to be, whatever, all this stuff. They basically would run a monopoly on advertising within their ecosystem of Twitch. So they're looking to just take all that money and cut out the middle people.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, what they didn't plan for, though, is things like this that do affect, not only will this affect creators, this affects their own channels if they have to follow their own rules. And they are not in compliance with their own rules that they're setting here. But basically, they're trying to dissuade companies from going directly to creators and doing advertising and sponsorships they're saying that they're not, but that's totally what it is, and saying, well, it's going to be limited. You're going to get a sweeter deal going directly through us in the proper channels is essentially my understanding of what they're trying to do here with this. It's super dumb though. I think
what's weird. I'm sorry.
To think that they wouldn't take a piece of the pie and that we would be making less going that route is silly. We're not stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
here's the thing, though. This actually puts them in line with things like YouTube. YouTube has the same policy. They choose not to enforce it. Yes. So this, yes. So this actually puts Twitch in line with them. It's the same thing. If you're going to be in their ecosystem and doing ads, you have to utilize their ad services in order to do so. I think it's a little less restrictive maybe towards third parties and ad agencies, but the concept is still the same. This actually just puts Twitch in line with industry standards.
It just seems very weird because of the overall, like how this is like framed. Just seems like it just doesn't give you an incentive to be a creator, like at all, because like it just like unless you have like a good size following for you to even get to that. But still, even if you did, you know that a good piece of that, like, I mean, look what's happened in the past 2 weeks of what Twitch is doing. They've increased the price on Twitch Turbo because they decided to say $11.99 for whatever, but then they changed their deal saying that people are going to get revenue. They're changing their subscription policy to, I believe it's a 70-30 split beginning this year or this month for this to kind of show a little bit of a better incentive to do it, but it's still pennies to the dollar overall through all of that.
Wait,
and
that's 70-30 for subs now?
The creator itself gets 70-30. Now it's at a 50-50 like it was for the longest of time. It does. I mean, but still, like, and then now they're doing this weird aggressiveness with paid sponsored streaming. That now they're basically saying, okay, if you're on the outside, if you're an advertiser and then you're one, like for instance, like when you do when Stream Elements does the sponsorship ads, that's going to be gone completely, essentially, because they're saying it needs to be going through Twitch themselves directly. It's like, why? like why? You get a better cut towards all of that, and yet at the same time, it's like they feel like Twitch feels obligated that they should get a cut from that,
and so it's going to hurt smaller streamers as well because they're not going to service those ads to us that are anyone pushing that's not 10, 20. Yeah, exactly. So, it's still such a disservice. But I think something that's really important, again, we've known this for years. The suits have taken over, and the suits have taken over a long time ago. This has nothing to do about community. It hasn't for a while, since Amazon basically took over. It was about how do we make a profit from this? And every move that they've made, I feel, is indicative of them saying, we're trying to maximize profit. And again, I can't hurt them or be salty at them because that's a directive from Bezos and a board and stuff like that. They're just trying to keep their jobs and whatnot. But this is no longer, and you can, but this is no longer, and it hasn't been for a while, about the community because it is a very different Twitch than when I started in 2016 or even back when Justin TV and it started coming off as that kind of live streaming. Like, it is very different.
Yeah, and one of the things that definitely shows it is one of the clauses they put in. They'll now have a termination fee. So if they terminate your account or remove you, they're going to charge you
$25.
Yep, $25 termination.
Ridiculous. Fee. Yeah, wow, really ridiculous. With that, but like at the same time though, like I just think that it just really feels like out of nowhere though. I mean, it's just overall like it just seems that. Oh, actually, I did have a question, a really random question. So, when they said that they did the changes to the TOS, but yet they didn't change the TOS themselves, I mean, would that be technically like? Is that like, did they say that they were going to change it, or was there somewhere that they decided to say, you know what, we're going to renege on that as well, and we're going to change it back to what the TOS was going to be, and but they haven't done it yet. Like, is there something like? I mean, that seems kind of misleading. That if they said that they were going to remove their initial moving with the TOS, and yet they still haven't changed it in the written following. Like, is there does the streamer have a leg to stand on for something like that?
Because then they would be at fault, right? I think is what you're trying to say.
I think if someone were to violate these terms right now, they'd have a good argument with them to say, "Hey, you said that you weren't making these changes yet, so I relied on what you said." So I think that would be a good argument to make if someone were to try or were to be found to have violated the new terms of service by Twitch.
Okay, so because like that's what I was like thinking that if they openly are deceiving that people by that, I mean, how can you not take that seriously?
Well, because they posted that on Twitter, and I know Kick has been going crazy, and Kick has stated, like, if you get kicked off of Twitch, that they will pay your $25 fee for you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah. Kick is like, come over here, we got you.
Twitch's tweet said, yesterday we released new branded content guidelines that impacted your ability to work with sponsors. These guidelines are bad for you and bad for Twitch, and we are removing them immediately. So technically, they really only talked about the branded content and not the
other stuff.
Yeah, the monetized stream.
And clearly that, working with Voodoo Ranger, like, they immediately put out a statement being like, hey, it doesn't matter, how things have changed. The creators and ambassadors, nothing will change for you now or in the future. Just kind of letting us know they got our back. They're just like, hey, follow the guidelines of whatever they are set to, and it is what it is.
Right. They also said that they would be sending Lex some things as well. Let me know.
Yo, just let me know.
Yeah.
Are you sure that they will be like? I mean, they're just accepting. They're just agreeing on the contract that you've signed with them, and then they're not going to renew.
Who?
I mean, like
Voodoo
Ranger.
Oh,
like,
no.
Voodoo Ranger's not going to. Yeah, Voodoo Ranger's going to be like.
This is my understanding. This is one reason that I love them, is that they are people. I've met multiple people within the company, not only just a community manager, but people that work at the office and things like that. And they're just all solid people. So I feel like if anything were to come down like that, they would let us know well in advance and be like, hey, yada, yada, yada. They don't just go on the record saying some stuff willy-nilly. Their convictions are very strong in what they believe in. So I very much believe in what they're saying. The fact they didn't even have to say anything and they came out and said something just to let us know, hey, regardless of now or in the future, this doesn't change anything with our agreement with you. Because some people lost sponsorships just off of that announcement. Which is, I mean, that is, you can directly tie that to people's income. From a dumb announcement, a rushed announcement that clearly was vague and the wording was weird. Like, who is going through this stuff, and where are the people that are asking these questions? They have partners. They have, people that are managing people. Why not go and be like, hey, here's something that we're talking about. What's your reaction to this? Just at least. And again, I understand that as a company, you don't have to do that. The company has changed a lot. But man, it's hard to, they just seem to be taking L's over and over and over again, really.
I mean, the way I'm looking at it is that I'm going to ask for forgiveness before I ask for permission at this point with the multi streaming at this point, because they're
still there.
Yeah. I mean, they said that they can't police it at the same time, and I just kind of feel like it's kind of a weird rule that what y'all are y'all the only ones that specifically say that y'all's stuff is exclusive to your stream.
Right.
Everyone else,
and they say in multiple places. Because you have it here, you have it in the affiliate agreement, like and now it's non-affiliates too. So like you want some random person that signs on to Twitch to only stream, and then it makes no sense.
Yeah, well, it makes absolutely no sense.
So if you're a non-affiliate, the crazy thing too is the fee. Because I think with the fee thing, or that's one of the craziest things, because you had mentioned earlier about there being an active streamer. Because my thing is like, oh, well, you could just circumvent that by just not streaming there and just being done with the channel, but not actually deactivating or breaking your contract. However, they also put in the fact that they can break the contract with you and you still got to pay. So it almost seems like a way to combat that circumvention. They've already thought of that. Clearly, because that was my thinking. I was like, wait a second. I was like, that wouldn't work because
if y'all want to get petty, we're still going to charge. They're going to get petty.
Yeah, no, they have absolutely gotten petty with it. It's insane to me. Like, and that's one of the biggest things because that was not initially in the agreement. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, had that been in the agreement initially, would at least stop and be like, wait a second.
Yeah,
hold on. Yeah, maybe I don't want to do this. That's why I feel like it's like, how can they just do something like that, especially tied to money, without some sort of addendum that then people would have to re-sign and be like, yeah, no, they're just like, no, we can change it, and you already agreed to that. So
yeah,
here you go.
Very weird.
That blows my face off. I can't believe I signed that.
I don't think most people saw that. But
I'll see in purple. Like, I'll see in purple.
That's exactly what you were doing.
They got me. They got me in the cult of Twitch.
They got you.
But yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, I think overall, though, Twitch is still going to keep its popularity, though. I mean, like, hence, like, people are still talking about TwitchCon and upcoming TwitchCon and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I really feel like there is a shift community-wide. When you've got something like Kick, again, I don't know how that's even going to be financially stable with a 95 to 5% rate. And then I saw something else talking about, and again, I don't know the legitimacy of this. This could be somebody, but I saw something about them working on, possible
partners would get like $16 an hour.
Yeah, making an hourly wage, which then I think would start making people more than an independent contractor, or you could be an independent contractor, but wouldn't you be an employee at that point in time if you're making? And then they'd have to offer benefits.
Be a contractor.
Yeah, you can still be a contractor,
right? Okay.
As long as they're not telling you what to do and when to do and how to do, then you're still an IC.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And for your knowledge, it's in this agreement too. Term 7 is Twitch reserves the right at our discretion to change, modify, add, or remove portions of this agreement at any time. And your only recourse is to terminate this agreement.
So pay me.
But I don't think the $25 was in the first one because I wasn't the only one that read my contract. So. My dad also read it, and
it definitely wasn't
pretty snazzy, and he would have said something. So
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was not there before. That was something that was just added.
Yeah,
they just added that.
Yeah, I always have a backup reader because, for brain surgeries down the line, like sometimes like I go a little loopy and I think I read something and I didn't. So I always have someone double check things for me and Papa Lex did that.
Yeah, I just find it amazingly crazy to think that like, I just want to know, like, is it really that hard for them to just let a person go off? Like they say, hey, I don't want to stream anymore. I'm not an affiliate. I'm an affiliate, but I don't want to be a streamer anymore. And you're telling me that they're entitled to $25 to cancel your account.
What is the maintenance fee? What is that? Like, what maintenance are you doing? Making a couple mouse clicks?
Right.
Get out of here.
That's ridiculous.
Accrued program fees. Oh, and they do have here so modifications are effective 30 days following the notification. So 30 days from June 6th, so July 6th or July 5th is when it would take effect.
Okay.
How many people are like, I mean, like the real question is like how I just don't see how this is enforceable. Like I just don't like. There's so many people. There's so many affiliates. There's there's less partners, but there's still. It's like I don't see like how are they going to be able to enforce this stuff.
I think that's why they did it because they have so many affiliates and they have so many people where it's like because realistically the affiliate threshold isn't terrible now. So like getting 3 concurrent viewers and streaming or whatever. So they probably have thousands upon thousands of affiliates and they're trying to weed them out. So they'll probably just have an algorithm that will go, "Oh, this channel hasn't posted in 2 months, so cancel it."
Oh,
Dang, last year I would have been screwed because I took a little breaksies.
I mean, that still kind of sucks if you put your allocation at 2 months. People can take breaks longer than that. So basically, you're worried.
But
so now you're worried.
Well,
the problem is they get to make it. We don't know what it is.
Exactly,
right.
and that's the thing. Is like it's so vague. They've never actually
It could be 2 days.
put out. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, didn't do 2 days.
You haven't posted in an hour.
You're screwed.
Like what?
Well, not only that, like some of us are disabled gamers. So like I could go have a brain surgery at the drop of a hat because something stopped working. And I don't know if I could reasonably sit in this chair for more than an hour at a time, once a week. Like they'd give me the boot real quick, Y'all aren't giving me FMLA. Like, excuse you.
Well, to be honest, this might be closer to creating an employee relationship.
That's what I was thinking.
Than everything else, right? Because they're telling you have to work a particular number of hours, you have to work at a particular time. That's leaning more toward employee than independent contractor.
Right. Ooh, so are you all going to be sending us W-2s instead, making our taxes a little easier this year?
And what's my hourly rate? It's got to at least be my state minimum.
Right. You know what? You had mentioned something, and this will be my last question, and I'll leave it until you bring something else up. But you had said that we have to interact with the Twitch chat, but the way that the verbiage that you used made it seem like we also have to physically write in the chat back to them. Is that am I understanding that correctly?
Let me pull.
I don't do that. Unless I'm just starting to stream up.
So it says the way it says is interact and engage viewers of your Twitch channel, and then respond to live viewers of your Twitch channel. Now it does say via Twitch chat. Now again, the problem is I don't know how they wrote it, because is that modifying your response, or is that modifying people who have written in your chat?
Right. Because like
a hanging preposition.
Right. And because there are people who do there's zoos that do Twitch streams and stuff. And they have moderators and things like that, but it's not usually from the main business itself. It's moderators that they've created or bots that they've created for their own channel. And they're not, responding to people that are talking. You're just watching the animals be animals. So, the vagueness freaks me out a bit. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
It almost seems like it's trying to target just sleeping and these subathon channels that will do these.
Sleeping. They made sleeping a category.
They did make just sleeping a category. You're right.
They did. Wow.
Yeah.
They can change it. That's the problem.
And they can change it.
They can change it in a heartbeat.
They can just what just sleeping category?
I don't see that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That's wild. Because again, too. That would kind of make sense though, because especially if they're making the ad split for everybody 70-30, then they're gonna want to push subs less.
Cut people out.
And push other means of them getting direct. That's why I stopped getting bits on there, because I realized I was like, wait a second, they're just double dipping. You buy bits to then give to streamers, which they take a cut of their bits. Like, wait a second,
y'all are doing this dirty. And so I always, dude. Yeah, I tell Dana, I'm like, don't give me bits.
Yeah, no, I don't like the concept of that.
I don't like
it. Bits is shady. It always has been shady. But but overall though, I just like with these new TOS, does that really change your opinion on wanting to, would that be, is that a deal breaker for y'all? Essentially, or what is it to y'all, with this new kind of aggressiveness that they were originally planning, and let's say theoretically that they decided to stick with it, would this make you want to stream on Twitch, or what are y'all's plans or thoughts on that?
To be honest, it pushes me toward finding other platforms, because they're gonna just keep taking, right? And if they're being this aggressive without consulting people, they're backtracking for now, but at what point are they gonna just go back to what they wanted to do in the first place? I think finding that secondary source for when Twitch goes off the deep end is probably a good idea.
I agree. I'm just gonna slowly start streaming a couple days a week over on Kick, and then see if I can uproot my community over there.
Just like just Kick is just has. I mean, Kick is technically right now is the wild west right now, so like it's very, very aggressive. Let's just say that for what it's doing, like when it comes to the content itself. I mean, it's owned by, I believe it's owned by a gambling company.
Stake.
So it is okay. Yeah. So like so I mean, with all these different kinds of things, there's a lot of things that needs to kind of be marked on Kick. I mean, I still do it, but it's but I think that for other chances and opportunities to stream other things rather than gambling and IRL and all that stuff, they just need to kind of give more categories to agree with it, you know. So, but I mean, but I think overall I agree. I totally agree. I just think that like it's unfortunate that they're forcing you to kind of do all of this to do this stuff. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to make money. Obviously, Twitch doesn't seem like it's the way to do it anymore. It's definitely not worth your blood and sacrifice. No more of those long ass streams and stuff like that, you know, to kind of go in with it. But like it, but this totally opens up my eyes to see what other options there are for monetization. So yeah.
I mean, here's my secret. I've been doing it for years, y'all. I don't know why people haven't been doing it, because number one, there was no real way for them to moderate somebody restreaming and streaming to other platforms. It's impossible to do that. And I believe I don't know that I can talk about that. But I was like, so I've been doing it. I haven't always done it. But I have more recently within the last like year and a half, 2 years now, just because, you know, again, it's like, I think it's dumb to have exclusive on one thing that you can't even build a community really directly on it. You have to go to other places and then basically drive people to Twitch. Really I'd rather be like, yo, dude, like watch where you'd want to watch. Same concept as Microsoft. Play how you want to play, dude. I don't care. I don't care where you watch it. I'm just happy that you're here and you're joining us wherever you're at. So, you know, to me, the reward far outweighed the consequence of being banned. Again, a ban is like, oh, my bad, I didn't realize I couldn't do that. I will no longer do that, you know. But I've always kind of felt it weird that people are like, I'm no longer going to stream on here. It's like, why? I'm not going to take away an option for myself.
Have fun.
I'm not going to take away an option for myself to be viewed somewhere else. You can watch wherever you want to until they come in and say, hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. I'll stream everywhere. I do not care.
It's a matter of it's a matter of just growing your brand, not your platform.
Yeah.
So I mean,
the platform, I don't care, dude. Like I could build my own website and do, you know what I mean? The exact same thing. I've had conversations where it's like, why would I stream there when they're going to take 50% of you know, what you make basically. So, you know, there's way more options out there. And I get it. The UI and the audience is definitely on Twitch, but I feel like people are becoming more and more used to going to other platforms, not just necessarily going where people are, but where people are comfortable with. I'm like, hey, I don't care what you're comfortable with. I am everywhere. You know,
full exposure.
Yeah.
Full on exposure. So yeah.
Yep.
Man, so I mean, it's it's a pretty good topic itself. Thanks, thank you, Sean, for breaking it down for us.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's huge.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and actually, this is that perfect time to stop. So guys, thank you so much for listening to episode 177 of the CFG Gamecast. We will be back again next week with some awesome topics as always. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We release it on all podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, so on and so forth on Monday mornings. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices.
Ooh.
Guys, thank you so much. And also check out our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com. Check out the awesome reviews and the stuff that we like to do each and every week. So once again, this is Davis signing off with Lex, Smitty, and One Up Lawyer. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye.